my non-binary pals. This is another episode of the Taboo Tater Tot Club.
Where we discuss anything that interests us, whether it be morbid, disgusting, or just generally frowned upon to interact with and talk about. Today we've got some fucking bullshit planned for you.
That bullshit is actually, nostalgic video games.
This was a topic that earlier today we talked about a little bit, but we wanted to save it for the podcast. But starting off the bat, did you ever play Pop Tropica?
I didn't. I know what it is, but I played similar types of Club Penguin type.
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Did you know that got shut down?
Yeah.
Everybody fucking knew that. I don't know why I'm asking.
Yeah. Some of that kind of stuff that I played was like Willy Wonka online type of games. It wasn't like 100% similar, but it kind of had that vibe of early internet, hub of video games.
Yeah, the Flash.
The Flash, not animations, of the Flash games type of stuff.
Flash game. Oh, did you ever? I know earlier we were talking about addictinggames.com.
Yes.
I don't know if that's still up. Probably not, right?
I know that Miniclip is, but...
Yeah, another one is Miniclip. I had a game on Miniclip that I absolutely loved, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it. But you get these like little cars, and you race them through like a bunch of different tracks, and you jump them, and then you unlock new cars, and...
Like Hill Climber? Because that's a game on the App Store.
I guess, but I don't think that's what it was.
See, Addicting Games is still around. However, it's now owned by Nickelodeon.
What the... How the fuck did that happen?
I have no idea. But,
Because, as we were talking about a little earlier before I cut us off,
Mm-hmm.
Addicting Games, at least when I was growing up, was literally stickman violence.
Yeah,
There was a Sniper Assassin 1 through, but fuck Jesus numbers, there was a lot of them, and they were all pretty damn good. One of my personal favorites, I can't remember what website it was on, but is it just me, or is it nowadays, is it weird to be talking about games and websites in the same sentence?
No, why would it be?
I don't know, it just feels weird to me to be like, I can't remember what website this game was on, even though that was a part of...
Yeah, I suppose, because 90% of all video games are on console or on Steam.
Now, or downloadable in one way or another nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then, we didn't have that option. That was a great way to get a virus,
Yeah, it was.
But, there was my all-time favorite Flash game was a game... it would be considered a Flash game, I guess. Was a game called Sierra 7.
Sierra 7.
It was basically a spec ops first-person stickman shooter type game. And I played the shit out of that game. It only had, it had, a set amount of levels, obviously. This was before, random world generation and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I played the shit out of those games on all the fucking difficulty. And, I fucking loved that game.
You know what games I could not get enough of?
What?
Specifically branded games on CartoonNetwork.com. There was two specific games that stick out in my mind.
The Ben 10 and the Ben 10 creator one.
I've played that one, yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. I pretty much just drew penises the entire time.
Very good.
If I wasn't playing other people's levels, I was drawing penises or drawing the word penis.
There was a Teen Titans game, the original Teen Titans. It was just basically like Mortal Kombat, but with Teen Titans characters. And the other one was actually a mashup of all the Cartoon Network shows. It was like a food fight type thing. You could be Johnny Bravo, you could be any of the Ed Boys, you could be Courage.
Wait, so you're telling me I could finally be Plank?
I don't remember if Plank was a playable character, but...
He better have been, or else I fucking downvote that shit immediately.
I also remember...
Is Cartoon Games or Cartoon Network Games still around?
I believe so, but I think the number of, like back then there were like hundreds. And now
even.
Yeah, right now I betcha there was only maybe like 20 that you could play.
Yeah.
I was also...
When the Flash game support went under...
Yeah.
A lot of games... Website-based games, specifically speaking, just went poof.
Yeah.
And also, is it weird? Have you ever thought about how weird it is that there are so many fucking Stickman games?
That too, yeah. I remember there was one where you got to ride a porta potty down a hill, and you got to see how far you could fling your guy. That was a Stickman
Potty
game.
Racers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never played it.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
But I watched a guy on YouTube play it. So.
And I can say this because I'm 99% sure that I have autism. I call it an autismo, which is like a severe fascination with something.
That's actually scientifically called a special interest when you obsess over someone or not someone, something.
Well, I've
been watching too much Criminal Minds, so obsess in someone, it was a natural fucking correlation, you know.
One of my big obsessions as a kid, and still today, is any video game that allows you to do the exact same thing over and over again, but upgrade whatever it is you're doing. So, like, that game, there was one that was called Penguin Launcher or something, where you had to try and go to the moon. Learn to fly.
Learn to fly.
Learn
1,
to fly.
2, and 3, yes.
Yeah. I think I still have the third game on my Steam account.
Yeah, they released it on Steam.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely, especially when you put them in like little trash cans and baskets and stuff. They're adorable.
Yeah, they are.
They are fucking... I mean that in the most manliest way possible, but they are fucking adorable.
There were also these specific Stickman games where you walked around in a pseudo 3D environment, and there were zombies.
That's what Sierra 7 was a pseudo 3D environment, you know, and it was, like I said, I played the shit out of that game. It was very... Hell, even to this day, if I could, I would go back and I would play that game some more. I think it was that fucking good.
I bet.
And it was just stick figures and, like stick guns.
Yeah. I think the game that I was talking about where hordes of zombies come after you and you're a stick man and you're like, you get to upgrade your guns and everything. I think that was called Boomstick? Or Boomstick Man, something like that. I don't remember.
Boom Bite.
I'm not sure.
We've only been talking about PC Flash games.
Yes.
But I remember, and I will look for any reason to talk about this game because this is the game that really started my career as a gamer.
Okay.
I don't know if that's how you would phrase that, but...
Let's roll with it.
It sounds flashy.
Sure.
So it fucking works.
I'm a professional gamer.
Oh, that's just cringe.
Yeah.
I'm a professional gamer.
Anyway, what game is it?
SOCOM Navy SEALs. the second one. I played the first one, and it had some cool mechanics, but my fucking... I would have been like 7 or 8 at the time. This was on the PS2, by the way.
Uh-huh.
I should have started with that. My fucking dumbass brain at 7, 8 years old could not grasp the concepts of the first SOCOM.
Okay.
Like
Was that on PS1?
No, they were both PS2.
Both of them?
I'm sure that the first one could have been on PS1. I don't know.
Okay.
But they've only, as far as I know, they only made 2, and that was back in PS2 days, you know.
I see.
And it did not get the attention that it deserved. Like, did you ever hear of it?
Today, of course, I've heard of it, but back then, probably not.
What do you mean today you've heard of it? Like, because I'm telling you today?
No, because I've heard of it. Like, right now, I've heard of it. But back in the day, when I first had my first PS2 or whatever, I probably never had heard of it.
And there was a rumor back when the PS5 was in development that they were making...
Ooh, I should turn my ringer down.
You should be muting your phone.
Yes, that too.
There was a rumor that SOCOM was getting another...
A remaster?
Another game.
Oh, another game.
But for the PS5.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen... What if they fucking released SOCOM? This is how much I love that game. I will go and buy the game immediately. And I will go buy a fucking PlayStation. Like, I don't have any issues with PlayStation. Like, again, it's what started my gaming career, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, I play Xbox mostly. It's either PC or Xbox for me. There will be times that I will sit down and play a PlayStation game, sure. Like a PlayStation exclusive if it truly interests me. But I'm not really one of those guys that's like, Xbox is better than PlayStation or PlayStation is better. No. At the end of the day, they're both fucking good consoles.
Yeah.
But PC wins out every time.
Sure. No, I agree with you. It's just I don't have a good enough PC to indulge. My wife does, and I don't feel comfortable in taking over her laptop when it's not mine.
But she's your wife.
I understand. It's just she's like,
send her in the kitchen. There, then it's yours.
Actually, she doesn't belong in the kitchen. I do.
Ha! So you're a bitch.
Speaking of PlayStation exclusives,
well, before we go into that, yeah. I'm gonna finish about my.
Oh yes.
So there was a bunch of different guns you started out with.
Mm-hmm.
You had a primary weapon, and then you had a secondary, and grenades and flashbangs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like most FPSs.
Except for it wasn't an FPS.
It wasn't?
It was a third person.
Oh, I see.
Actually, maybe you might have been able to go in the first... I don't remember now. But I do know it was a third person.
Is it weird that the only third person shooter that I can reference right now, off the top of my head, is Hitman?
No.
Okay. Go carry on.
Anyways, you could drive boats, you could drive Humvees, you could shoot whoever. Oh, and that's another thing. The guns had fucking attachments, mm-hmm. which up until that point, as far as I know, was virtually unheard of.
I think in the original Call of Duties, you could like attach a bayonet or a grenade launcher, but that's about it.
Yeah, but did you know? Well, sidetrack, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Did
you know that the very first grenade launcher was a Marine in World War II in the trenches, mm-hmm. loaded his rifle, his M1 Garand, with blanks. And he pulled the pin on a grenade and stuck it to his barrel and shot it.
What in the goddamn?
If that isn't the definition of jarhead, I don't know what is.
Holy shit, yeah.
Like, that's fucking nuts. But that was the very first iteration of grenade launcher.
That's crazy.
And it got to the point where they were duct taping grenades to the barrel of their guns and then pulling the pin and shooting it off.
Interesting.
It was literally volley fire, but with grenades.
Huh.
So, anyways, going back to the game.
Yes.
You could put, like, I think the only thing you could put on was suppressors. But still, that was virtually unheard of at the time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm aware. Keep in mind, I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
So, but that, or you could go without, which again was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
And you unlock different weapons by picking them up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a machine gun that I like to call the nail gun.
Yeah.
Just because the nail gun... Sorry, I shouldn't say machine gun. It was a light machine gun.
Okay.
But to, my 8-year-old ass, it sounded like a fucking nail gun. It didn't sound anything like a nail gun.
Okay.
But that's what I called it, and it was my favorite gun in the entire game.
Yeah.
But you could unlock pistols and snipers and LMGs and rifles and, like, the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I read somewhere that there was, like, 40-something different guns in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you would go on these different missions, and you would, like, have to rescue certain people or do certain stuff. And, not get compromised,
Yeah.
Or if you did, you could shoot your way out. But sometimes you couldn't. It was a mission fail. And the graphics were mind-blowing. Even by today's standards.
Huh.
And keep in mind, this was on the PS2.
Yeah.
Like, you could swim. You could disappear in the brush. You could do all this different shit. Like, it was a legitimate, genuinely good game. And I loved the shit out of it. And, on top of that, it had Easter eggs.
No.
For example, my brother and I found this accidentally. I had the nail gun. Quote, nail gun. And there was a snowman in one of the levels. If you shot it, and then walked up to it and interacted with it, you would get a sausage.
Oh?
And if you interacted with the sausage, your guy goes, spicy.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but my brother and I found that as the funniest fucking thing. And, like it was just... That was back when people made video games for the sake of making good video games. They took pride. Nowadays, like with the fucking Call of Duties, the new Warzone and shit. How much of that is pay to win,
Yeah.
Or how much is just a cash grab?
Yeah.
And it's not just Call of Duty, it's all the fucking games.
Yeah, most of them, yeah. Unless it's like a story-driven narrative game, then most of it is just microtransaction to hell.
And pay to win bullshit,
Yeah.
But back in the day, people made games. Amazing games even. Like,
yes.
I'm sure thinking back to your childhood, you could think of amazing fucking games
Oh yeah.
that didn't have a single microtransaction.
Oh yeah.
Granted, that was before people figured out how to be able to do microtransactions. But I digress.
Yeah.
That was, at least in my opinion, the pinnacle of gaming.
Yeah, I think between the beginning of the PS2 and the ending of the 360 era, that was the height of gaming.
The 360, towards the end of it, it was getting a little...
Yeah, that's why I said towards the end of it that was, yeah.
Which I've played most consoles. I've played a PS1. I've played the Nintendo 64. I was horrid at it, and I would get pissed off because there was no save mechanic.
Unless you bought an extension, yeah.
But then my mom would pass the part that I've been trying to beat for days, and within 2 minutes, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I've played on the Nintendo 64. I've played on the GameCube. I've played PS1. I played PS2. I've played PS4 and 3. I don't know why my brain decided to skip over 3. And then I've obviously played Xbox 360. I've played the original fucking Xbox, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And I own currently an Xbox One, as you know. So, I like... And on top of that, I used to have my own computer that I built myself.
Yeah.
Again, as you know. So I like to think that I'm fairly well versed in the gaming community,
Yeah.
And so when I feel when I say games used to be amazing back then, that should carry a good amount of weight,
Yeah.
And that's not me, being full of it,
Mm-hmm.
That is legitimately what I would consider a professional opinion.
Yeah. My scope of video games is sort of limited because a part of some of my hyperfixations is that I don't deal with anything that's not licensed, basically. Literally my entire childhood was Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman. That was it. And I think the very first unlicensed anything that I ever played was Sly Cooper. Have you ever played that? Like any of the Sly Cooper games?
Not that I'm aware of.
They're so much fucking fun. The first one and the second one are two completely different games, but within the same story. The first one is you gotta go to specific areas in order to complete missions, and then you get to move on to the next area. And it was always platforming, and then rhythm-based section, and then combat heavy area, and then the boss area. And that was each and every world, kind of.
I think I have played it or something similar at the very least, because the rhythm part really sounds familiar. Mm-hmm. But also, while you were talking about that, it reminded me of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
They made a remake of it not too long ago.
Yes, they did. And it was not fantastic. It was good. It was baseline good, but it wasn't great like the original games were.
Well, it's also hard to, it's hard to meet people's expectations sometimes when it comes to nostalgia and
yeah, I agree.
All that fun stuff.
But the reason...
also, I fucking hate skateboarding. What about you?
I mean, real world skateboarding, I was always a fat kid, so I never got into it.
You're still the fat kid. Shut up.
I'm not fat. I'm fluffy. No,
okay,
I'm fat.
Gabriel.
Okay.
But one of my favorite games growing up, for all the wrong reasons, was Tony Hawk's Underground 2. specifically because I enjoyed fucking smacking into shit. Like that. So, anyways, before we had that technical mishap, in other words, you're just an idiot.
It force closed.
That's what they all say.
Anyway, were you gonna say something else about the game?
Yeah, like my favorite part, as I said, was fucking smacking into shit. Or making Ben Franklin skid around on a skateboard.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you could be Ben Franklin.
Nice.
Or launching your skater out of a cannon.
Huh.
Into buildings. While Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire plays in the background.
Nice.
And it burns, 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 the Ring of Fire.
See, I never played any of the Tony Hawk games, but since it was licensed, you know what game I did play instead?
What?
Extremely Goofy Skateboarding. I'm not shitting you. That game exists, and it is so fucking fun.
Is it, like, retarded fun?
It's basically just like Tony Hawk. Because I've actually played Tony Hawk before, of course, after I played Goofy Skateboarding. But it...
Is it with, like, the Mickey Mouse Goofy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's based off of the Extremely Goofy movie, the first one.
I love that
So you
movie.
get to
I
play...
haven't thought about that movie in forever.
You get to play as Goofy or Max or one of his friends, the fat cat-looking character. I don't remember his name. And
We'll
there
call
is
him Meow.
Sure. And I think he got to play as Mickey as like an unlockable character. But yeah, it was basically the same thing. You get to do tricks. You get to actually you get to escape through like just a suburban town that they live in. So you get to do like tricks off of like the shingles of a house.
Yeah.
And like
Taco, come here.
parking lots and things like that. It was pretty fun. But the reason why I brought up the Sly Cooper games is because you brought up a point about how the SOCOM games were supposed to have like a soft reboot or like a new game in the series. I don't think they ever promised a Sly Cooper 4, but what they did promise is a movie about it. A movie based on the characters. And apparently it was supposed to come out like...
Oh, Taco.
Did he step on your nuts?
He did.
Good job, Taco.
Hey, he can't know what it feels like. He don't have any.
Yeah. I think the movie was supposed to come out in like 2017, and it was like scheduled to come out on release date, but it just never happened, and nobody really knows why. And I just looked it up, and that SOCOM game, it also had the same fate. It just kind of poofed. Nobody really knows anything. They've asked the publishing company, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that about that."
Hey, look over there.
Hey, look, yeah, something else that you should pay attention to instead of our misgivings.
But no, like I was genuinely excited when I heard that. I was like, I gotta go get a PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
And then they were like, but we haven't released it yet. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm gonna wait. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Is the mic picking up Taco's panting, by the way?
Looks like it is slightly, yes.
Well, congratulations, viewers.
Here's some doggo ASMR.
Here's some dog panting. And you know what? We're not going to cut it out because he wants to be part of the podcast, too.
That's fine. That's okay. Him and Buddy were part of the podcast the other day.
Come one, come all to the Taboo Tater Tot Club.
Yeah.
Is that what we are?
Yes. Yes, that's
Okay.
that's what we are. Good job, you remembered.
I questioned if I remembered.
But, so I was an extremely sheltered child. I grew up Christian. And anything with blood or magic or gratuitous violence, I wasn't allowed to watch or play. So, if you can imagine a child that was that sheltered and also didn't listen to anything but Christian music until the age of like 12.
Oh, Jesus! Oh,
Why is Mickey singing about? Never mind. Anyway, the first like truly violent video game I ever played, which wasn't really all that violent in retrospect, because I played this.
Honestly, truly intrigued.
So I replayed this game recently, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Stop fucking leaving me on a cliffhanger. Just tell me.
Well, like I said, the only thing I ever played was Star Wars or Marvel or whatever. So it would not surprise you that it is called a Star Wars Republic Commando. Yeah. That was
disappointing.
But it's wild if you think of it from a perspective of never played anything harder than like literally I would play, like, if you've ever heard of Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, or Pajama Sam, or VeggieTales video games, actually.
They made video games for fucking VeggieTales?
They were like point and click adventures and platformers, yes. And they were mostly for the PC.
Could you imagine like a first person free roam
VeggieTales game?
Yeah, like what the? That would be a fucking acid trip, dude.
So, let me tell you a little bit about this Star Wars game. One of the very first games that I played that wasn't like a kiddie point and click kind of edutainment type of a game. This thing had actual blood. These creatures called the Geonosians, if you've ever seen them, they're the things that kind of look like wasps, but like lizard wasps.
I have seen a few of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about them.
But you would shoot these things, and they would, like, scream in pain, and blood would show up on your visor, because it's a first-person shooter, and you're a clone commando. And so blood would splatter over your visor, or if you shot a droid, oil...
I think I know what you're talking about, actually.
Really?
I think so. I think a friend of mine had it.
And then, like, a little, like, I don't know what the fuck it was supposed to be, but this line of plasma, I guess, went from the bottom of the screen to the top, and it, like, did away with the blood or the oil or whatever. And the thing that... I actually, the very first time I ever put it in my computer and played it, I actually was scared shitless, because one of the very first things you have to do is fight on the very first war... Battle of the Clone Wars, which is on Geonosis, and there's a bunch of caverns and stuff because they're bug people, and you have to turn on the night vision visor tech, whatever, and the battle droids, the ones that have like droopy heads.
Sorry to cut you off, but we're gonna have to pause our recording for a second.
Okay.
Life Flight is gonna be flying over here soon.
So I was talking about the night vision of this video game. The droopy-headed droids, they have, for some reason, their eyes looked pure white, and that reminded me of somebody possessed. So it scared the shit out of me.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah?
How you, as a Christian, sheltered, baby-faced man-child...
I was like 10.
Man-child.
Uh-huh.
Did you know what someone who was possessed looked like?
Because, actually, funny side tangent, really quick, one of my favorite things to do would be to go to the video rental store with my dad. And oftentimes, he would go to the gritty action section, and right next to that section of the video store were the horror movies. And, yeah, I would have to, like, shield my baby eyes, like blinders on a horse, at walking past that section, because they creeped me the fuck out.
Sorry.
And I probably saw a possessed person on a VHS tape or DVD cover that way. Probably.
Or maybe you were possessed, who knows?
I mean, I did have... What's it called when you're like frozen asleep and you can't move?
Sleep paralysis.
Yes, I did have that for a while. So maybe. Depends on your beliefs, yeah.
No, sleep paralysis is a proven psychological effect.
Yeah, I think I had it between the ages of like 8 and maybe 14, 13, something like that. And it just miraculously stopped all of a sudden.
About 3% of kids at that age do experience sleep paralysis at one point.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing as seizures, for example.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we don't know a whole lot about them.
Yeah.
But in both cases, or examples, I guess is a better word, your brain goes, hey, I just don't feel like working correctly right now. And then it just shuts off.
I see. So
that is literally all it is. Sorry that I keep cutting you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't do it on purpose.
No, I understand. But just it wasn't even extreme violence in this game. It was just mostly that you shoot a bug, they squirt like yellow and green blood on your visor, and like I think the most violent thing that you could do is the melee is a tiny little knife comes out.
What?
The melee of this game. Melee, like fisticuffs. Like in video games, you have a gun and melee, and you like slam people.
You mean a melee?
It can be pronounced melee too.
No, that is. I have literally never heard that. That is fucking stupid.
I've heard people say both. Melee, whatever.
Let's agree to disagree.
Okay, sure.
Because that's going to become a heated topic pretty quickly.
Anyway, the action in which you hit something with your own fists or gun. One animation is you have this little knife coming out the top of your wrist, kind of like almost like Wolverine claws, but just one knife. And you hit this lizard. They're called Trandoshans. These lizard people. And yes, I know tranny, haha. And actually, I think, yes, that is life alert. Life alert?
Life
light.
alert?
Life light. I think actually a character in the game does call them trannies too. I'm not exactly positive on that, but I think so. I think I remember that. And the game was made in like 2008, so like, you know, whatever. But anyway, the most violent thing you can do in this video game is knife a tranny, and then actual red blood spurts on your screen.
Don't say that. That's gonna get us fucking demonetized.
Like I said, I'm 99% sure that actually a character says that in the game.
Yeah, but
a lizard. You stab a lizard, you get blood on your screen. He goes fucking flying because I don't know why, but if you melee any character, they go fucking ragdoll flying. And then you walk up to it, and you can keep on stabbing it, and then spurts blood keeps on going over your screen, and yeah, that's like the most violent thing that you can do in the game.
It sounds like your typical Friday night to me.
I bet. But yeah, that's like the very first video game that I ever played that was more than just point and click, basically. But let me ask you a question. What was your very first video game console?
The Nintendo 64.
Mine was the Game Boy Advance SP, the one that's square. And here's a little insight into why I last episode I think it was we hit on a topic about my dad and then moved right the fuck on. So my dad was actually the one that got me that Game Boy, and I had that for about a year, and I am 99% sure that he took it and pawned it and bought
drugs.
No, he wasn't like that. Thank God. Out of all of his faults, he wasn't a drug addict or an alcoholic. No, I think he...
That would have been my next guess, by the way.
Yeah, no, I think it was... I'm pretty sure it was golf clubs. A new golf club appeared in the back of his car, basically, after it disappeared. And he's all like, "Oh, did you clean your room? You find it and everything?" And my grandpa is basically... you've heard my stories about my grandpa. He was basically my dad growing up.
Fantastic guy. Haven't met him, but from what you have told me, I would love to sit down and have a beer with him one day.
If he drank, yes.
Oh, he don't drink?
No, because he was an alcoholic, actually, and he doesn't touch the stuff anymore.
Okay, well then, him and I can fucking have a few bottles of, I don't know, Dorado or something. Or whatever the fuck it's called.
Doritos.
Close enough!
Anyway, according to my grandmother, my mom told my grandpa what had happened, and he grabbed him by the neck and said, "Don't you touch that kid's shit," basically. And he said, "I'm going to buy him another one, and if you touch it, I will stab you. I promise I will stab you." He said that to my dad. And according to my grandma. And then that Christmas, he got me another one. And, but yeah, that was my very first.
Your grandpa really just went out of his way to make sure you were happy and taken care of. And
yeah, whatever my dad didn't do, he did.
he still tries, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while, even if I don't ask him, he'll be like, "Here's $20 for go get a hamburger with your wife."
Yeah, like, he legitimately seems like I would, at the bare minimum, I would love to shake his hand one of these days.
Yeah.
Like, that is, just because, from what you've told me, it is a testament to how people used to be, you know. Mm-hmm. He seems, my mouth is watering.
Because you're eating hot chip.
Yeah, I was just eating spicy Cheetos, I know. But, like, people nowadays, I'm sorry, but we are shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we are doing some things a lot better. Mm-hmm. But the respect is fucking gone.
Yeah. Like,
I still hold doors open for, you know, not even just females anymore. It's just anyone.
You know what's actually...
You know, I say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, thank you. I'll fucking kill you if you do something I don't agree with. Mm-hmm.
A testament to that is...
Like, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like I should
You're good.
touch on that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like... If some guy started dating a girl I cared about, one way or another, you can fucking choose the fucking relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, like, it does not fucking sister, best friend, crush, whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. Do people even still use the word crush?
I would assume so. I don't... What else? What other word could... Boo, I guess? Or bae? I don't know.
But, like, at the same time...
I'm not hip with the kids anymore.
Yeah, but, like, back in my day... Oh, my God, I'm turning in one of those.
I know.
Back in my day, cool was just cool. And then, about the time I got into middle school, it was rad, you know.
Rad?
That was a phase in Utah, yes.
Oh, okay, in Utah. I was going to say, we never used that word when I was growing up, and I'm 6 years older than you.
Yeah, you fucking grandpa.
I know, fucking... I found a new white hair in my beard. There's two right in a row on my left side of my face. I am so fucking pissed.
But, like, if, you know, said guy hurts this girl, I'm gonna fucking kill him. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I am very old-fashioned in a lot of ways. Because my mama raised me a certain way, you know.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just kind of developed on my own because my dad wasn't around a whole lot. And he was a piece of shit. He still is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, but this isn't a podcast about fucking daddy issues and...
I mean, we can go into it.
I'd rather not.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is like I told you the other day, this is cathartic, and if I want to talk about daddy issues, I will, because this is half of my podcast.
Technically, it's 99% of your podcast.
I mean,
technically speaking,
whatever.
Because I'm just an extra voice.
I mean, you can't do a podcast with, well, I guess you could do a podcast with only one person, but that would be a little bit boring, I think.
No, not necessarily. What if you have, like, multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia? Then that would be fucking interesting as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm Dave. I'm John. I'm gonna kill you both.
Somebody just writes in the comments like, I really like personality number 4.
Dave! Thank you.
Personality number 1 is kind of a dick.
So do you think multiple personality disorder people know that they're like different personalities at like a given time? Or do you think it just happens and they don't realize it?
Yes and no, because I've seen many documentaries. One of my hyperfixations for about a year or two was just that, the DID. And there are some times where some personalities will recognize others, and in some people they space out so much that not one personality understands that there are multiple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. I've been told that I might be borderline personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which makes no fucking sense to me, but whatever, you know.
Well, you know, you have multiple personalities, but you don't.
That doesn't help!
I never said it was helpful, man.
It makes it more complicated.
Right? But I brought up the first video game console because I actually have a very funny story, which I think I told you before, about my very first PS2 and the grandma and the grandson yard sale.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
So we went to this yard sale and we were looking around, and this is one of the big reasons why even today I like going to yard sales, just looking at cool stuff that people might have, and you know, trying to find good deals.
It's always a good deal if you take it without anyone knowing.
Yeah. This was before the PlayStation.
Don't do crime, kids.
Yeah. Stay in teeth, brush your school.
We're gonna wake up to a news broadcast tomorrow, and it's gonna be a bunch of fucking kids just brushing their school with toothbrushes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be your fault.
Yeah. Look, you don't know exactly where I live. You don't know my last name. It'll be fine. So,
I know where you live. I know your last name.
Don't. Please.
I'm not gonna fucking dox you, but
okay.
If that happens, I'm gonna laugh.
Okay.
And then I'll probably TP your house or something.
Be like, an asshole lives here. Thanks.
You know, get retribution for the rest of the viewers, you know.
Actually, I've had my house egged once before. It's not fun.
Well, you also had your house shot.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. But
for those that are curious, this happened recently.
Nobody got hurt.
He was not, keyword not, say it with me now, not. I can't emphasize this enough, the target.
I was not the target, nor was I the suspect.
Yeah, that's probably important to...
Me and my wife were in bed. But anyway, another time.
But yeah, I want to touch on that before people are like, oh my god, he's a shooter.
No.
You know?
I'm not. So this yard sale...
Honestly, after the fact that I just said that, they're probably going to comment that now.
Yay.
Oh well. Cute me.
We haven't even done our channel art yet. Maybe I'll just put a gun in my hand, in my little avatar's hand, because I plan on making just 2 tater tots, one with the ginger beard, one with a black beard, and then just having your shit show supervisor hat on, and then my cowboy's hat on. Anyway, I'll show you. I'll show you.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
But,
I'll show you before I make anything final.
Just out of curiosity, what graphics software do you use?
It's literally called... I don't remember what it's called, but it's like an exclusive... No.
Okay.
Because it's exclusive to the Amazon Kindle market. Because I have an Amazon Kindle, and we tried putting Android on it, but that failed miserably.
Fire Alpaca?
I love that software. That's what I use on my PC.
That is what I used originally.
Yeah, that's what I use on my PC, but it's not available.
It was the first one that I really... I tried GIMP and Paint.net or whatever the fuck.
I used Medibang Pro first.
I have tried a lot. And Fire Alpaca is the one where...
That and Jump Paint are my two favorites.
Because I had a friend, originally someone who I looked up to, who did graphics design himself.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to you, Tyler. Hopefully you're watching. Probably fucking not, because, well, life happens.
Yeah.
But he was the one that taught me how to do graphics design. I didn't go to school. I fucking dropped out. I have learned everything that I know by myself.
Yeah.
I can do coding in many, many different coding languages. Python, JavaScript, C++, C#. You name it, I've fucked around with it. XML, HTML. And then I can do video production, both the camera work and the editing. I can do the audio, as we have had... By the way, we should touch on that. The fucking troubles that we've been having.
We can touch on that. I just want to get my one story out.
Oh, well, I'll finish my thing here, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
So, I can do the video production, I can do editing, I can do coding. I was even working on my own game at one point.
Cool.
Ironically, and this is before I met you, this was almost 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
I named it Sputters. Sputters Misadventures. It was literally about a potato. You controlled a potato who went around saving his French fried children.
That's adorable.
Alright?
Yeah.
I worked really hard on it.
So, yes, the yard sale. So we went to this yard sale, and we're looking around, and I find... this was before the PlayStation 2 Slim. So if that gives you a rough estimate of when this might have happened.
They made a Slim? Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I had the big chungus.
The Fat Boy? Yeah, that's actually what they call it, is the Fat Boy. It's great.
I had the Fat Chungus, and
yeah,
I loved it. It is a fucking beefy ass console.
It was for its time, yeah.
Like it was strong.
Yeah. I remember my original PlayStation, which this story is about. I remember dropping it from maybe 4 or 5 feet, and there was fucking nothing wrong with it. So,
yeah, what I mean is, like, the internals are fucking amazing for its time. Hell, it could with some upgrades, it could probably hold up in today's market.
Yeah, the Slim did have some issues, which I did actually have a Slim at one point that did have some of those issues. But with my first PS2, found at a yard sale, it had 2 controllers, 2 memory cards, and I think like an NFL game. I think it had Spider-Man 3 for the PS2, and then it had one other game that I don't remember what it was. But basically, at least like
probably the
400.
Simulator.
I don't know, but about $400 to $500 worth of shit right there, and I'm like, oh my god, Dad! And I'm like, it's right there. It's right there.
Bring it down a little bit. You peeked it.
Okay. I was like, it's right there. And he went up to this little old lady who was running the yard sale. He's like, how much do you want for that? And she goes, oh, that VCR? $25. And I'm like, is that the whole thing, all of it? And she goes, oh, you want the movies for it too? Yeah, $30. And so we took home about $400 to $500 worth of equipment for about $30. And as I'm like, Dad, give her the money right fucking now. And he did. And as I was carrying this bag full of equipment into the car, I hear, Grandma, no! And I'm like, we need to go. Dad, we need to go. So I think this little kid wanted to sell this for probably about $400 to $500, maybe a little bit less, since it was, previously owned. And I just basically stole it. And as we're pulling away, I just look at this kid's face, and it's just dread and horror and snot dripping down his face. And I'm like, fuck you, kid.
Not like that.
Not like that.
You mean that VCR?
Yeah, the VCR. She called it a VCR. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we want the VCR. Thank you.
With the movies.
Yes, with the movies, yes. And I think I had that thing for at least 3 years. 3 or 4 years.
That's pretty good considering you fucking...
Basically stole it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not theft. She agreed to the sale.
Yeah. I mean, even now, thinking about this back as an adult, I really don't feel bad. I really don't. Like, even if the kid was like, hold on, Grandma, I gotta go to the bathroom, be right back. Even if that happened or whatever, he should have told his grandma what that thing was, written it down, or put a sticker on it, like, I want $200 for this, or whatever. He should have known something was gonna happen.
You know, I don't even think he thought that it was in the yard sale.
Maybe he didn't.
Because if you think about it, she referred to it as a VCR with
Maybe
movies.
she just grabbed it from the house and she's like, oh, I don't need this thing anymore. And thought it was her VCR.
Grandma, no!
But at the same time, why would it be bundled all together? The controllers and the memory cards and the games.
It's not hard to match fucking pictures.
I don't know.
Especially when they're plugged into something.
Either way, fuck them kids, bro. It's fine. I don't feel bad.
Grandma, no!
Yeah.
I fucking love that story, though.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good.
Did I ever tell you about the time I fell off a roof?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I know I've told you about my ex-best friend fucking a tree.
Yes.
Which, now that I think about it, now that I've said it, I've got to get into that too. But, as a kid, I used to run around climbing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a fun thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't really give you a logical explanation. But one day, somebody called the cops. Because obviously there's a kid on the roof, you know.
Yeah.
And the cops were like, hey, you need to come down. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And then I would run from one roof and jump to another.
Mm-hmm.
And
I could see how this could be bad.
And then I would just constantly go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I always did. And then, one of these times, as I'm, quote, running from the cops, quote,
mm-hmm.
in my mind, they were just trying to end my fun.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, no, fuck you, yeet.
Yeah.
I went to go jump, ironically, onto my roof.
Mm-hmm.
Because only one of the roofs that I was jumping on was mine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know what happened. I misstepped or I misjumped or whatever. But, I landed on the roof and then toppled backwards.
Oh.
And I cut myself multiple times,
mm-hmm.
not just once, multiple times on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
how I managed that
On like a tree or what?
the fucking house.
Oh.
Like the windowsill and like a fucking air conditioner and shit like that. You know?
I see.
And the cops were like, no! And I was like, wee! And then, like, it still hurt when I hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But to this day, even after all the shit that I have pulled, I have not broken a bone.
I see.
I had a nail in my foot.
A nail in your foot?
A rusty ass nail, yeah.
I think I've had that happen to me before once.
It was so fucking painful.
I was gonna say the only bone in my body I've ever broken was my thumb and my tailbone.
Loser. You couldn't even break a good bone.
A good bone? Like your femur? That's hardcore.
Break your neck.
Or your neck, yeah. No, I broke my thumb trying to catch a football in middle school once. And then I've broken my tailbone because multiple times in my life I've slipped and fallen on my ass on ice.
Welcome to fucking Idaho, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, I know I've told you this story, but I accidentally brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I begged my now ex-best friend to go camping, as you know.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, no. And I was like, yes. And he was like, no. And I was like, yes. And he was like, fine! Just shut up!
Yeah.
Little did I know that was going to be a mistake.
Yeah.
Long story short, because I got to keep it at least somewhat, YouTube friendly.
Somewhat, yeah.
He storms off into the woods in the middle of the night and comes back like 2-3 hours later. And obviously I'm like, what took you so long?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I fucked a tree. He looks me dead in the eye, fucking stoner-faced, and goes, I fucked a tree.
Stoner-faced or stone-faced?
Both, I guess.
Stone-faced is serious. Stoner-faced is like...
Then stone.
Okay, stone-faced. Okay.
I've literally never heard that, but okay.
Okay.
And so I'm like, huh? Half asleep. And he goes again, stone-faced as you call it.
Uh-huh.
I fucked a tree. So, obviously I was like, what the fuck? And then after that whole ordeal, I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the story should end.
Yeah.
We went on a hike the next day. And there was a tree that obviously had been mutilated.
Yeah.
Severely mutilated. Like, it looked like a fucking butcher shop. Mutilated.
Holy shit.
But, like, the butcher didn't know what he was doing and he didn't have the right tools. So he was just, like, slapping it.
Holy shit.
Don't come in here, I'm slapping my meat.
Well, it was a tree, but yes.
Well, never mind. Anyways, and there was a hole. Not very deep, not very wide. But there was, and this is the part that I gotta censor.
Mm-hmm.
There was some ranch coming out of said tree.
Oh, god damn it.
And the only way I am okay with reliving the story so much is, one, I get to share it with a fucking shit ton of people. So they get to share in the burden of knowing. But two, I imagine just like a fucking... He was special needs.
Oh.
So I literally just imagine a little tiny group running around.
Oh my god.
But not being able to speak in like full... Like, obviously group struggles to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like... tree.
Minigit.
I am Alex Coop.
That's funny.
And do you like how I censored that, by the way?
Yeah, I love your
Ranch.
What would you call it? Innuendo?
Obviously, there's a shit ton to the story.
Extra creamy Hidden Valley, yes.
Yeah, he definitely made that tree his hidden valley.
He carved a valley hidden in the tree. That was really stupid.
It kind of was, but it was funny. And then he was hospitalized when we got back.
Did his
But he never told me why he was hospitalized.
I was gonna say, did his Slim Jim get infected?
That's the working theory.
Yeah.
But honestly, he told me that something was infected. He literally just goes, I have an infection. And I'm like, where? Because I have a suspicion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you not fucking have a suspicion at that point?
Is it your dongus?
And I was like, where? And he's like, nowhere.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So, that's the story of how my ex-best friend fucked a tree.
Yeah. So I've been horny before. I've been fucking horny before. But I've never been horny enough to fuck wood.
Usually you have the wood.
Yes. Yes, I've used. Have you ever seen those like different ways to make toys? One way is to get two kitchen sponges inside of a cup and then put like either plastic wrap or like a rubber glove in the middle of the two sponges, and then you just squirt some lotion in there and then whoo.
So wait,
I've done that.
I didn't need to know that. But wait, you're telling me you're recreating two girls, one cup.
No, because
But instead it's two sponges, one cup.
I suppose, but that saying it that way would imply that there's shit involved, and there was not feces involved. There was no feces involved.
But you're a piece of shit.
Ha 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 ha. You want to know the stupidest fucking thing that I've ever done to my body?
Do I have to answer?
No, because I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh no!
So you know how icy hot feels good on your muscles?
I already know where this is going.
No, you don't, because it's nothing to do with icy hot. This is just pretext. You know how icy hot kind of feels minty, sort of, because it's like hot and then cold, and then, you know, if you get like a warm something, mint is like hot and then cold.
Have you ever got that shit in your eyes?
No, I haven't, but
I do not recommend it.
but
because
toothpaste.
it is the most fucking confusing thing. It is painful, and then it feels nice, and then it's painful, and then it's nice.
But you know how the same kind of thing applies to like toothpaste. Like you brush your teeth, you rinse your mouth with warm water, and it's both warm and kind of like cold at the same time because it's mint, you know? For some reason, I thought it was a good idea at the age of like 14 to put toothpaste on my balls.
Taco did not like that.
No, he didn't.
I don't know if the mic picked that up, but he did not like that.
He just...
Yeah.
But I spent at least an hour and a half in the shower trying to get it off. And I just remember my mom like, "Are you okay in there? You spent a long time in the shower." I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine." Just trying to get the spicy feeling off of my testicles.
I think I prefer the icy hot.
That probably would have been better, honestly. Maybe would have given me chemical burns, but...
The same could be said for toothpaste, though.
Well, obviously it didn't.
You never know unless you try.
Yeah, I suppose.
And you look like a guy today.
Yes, I have been a lot lately. Anyway, by the way, this podcast is not intended for anyone under the age of, 16? 17?
Well, I'm pretty sure my little brother's gonna listen to this, and he's fucking 13. So.
Well, that's fine. You know, it's just viewer discretion advised. I should put that in the logo. The little
or we could
black and white thing that they put on CDs.
We could put it we could record it separately, and then just splice it in at the beginning of each.
Just put a little warning: 18 plus topics ahead.
Warning: this is not for the faint of heart. Get out of here, Karen.
Oh, Karens.
Snowflakes.
Wasn't
that one of the topics you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about Karens if you want.
And another one was work stories, but the problem is, I've only ever dealt with Karens. Really, I mean, I guess I have a few Karen stories out of work too.
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of Karen/work stories, and
So does it have to be like strictly one or the other?
we can talk about whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just trying to understand your criteria for this specific.
Well, it's just okay. So this podcast, we talk about whatever the fuck we want.
No,
these topics are specifically only if we like run out of like, what should we talk about now? It's only to spark ideas. So
I understand that,
yes.
but it's your idea, and mine ideas. And mine are 2 in 1, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
Is there like a specific criteria that needs to be met?
No.
Or are we just saying, fuck it, and throwing our nuts to the wind?
I've never heard that expression before, but yeah,
Seriously?
sure. If you, throwing caution to the wind, I've heard, but not throwing my nuts to the wind.
What if my nuts are named Caution?
That works.
Okay. So, I used to work at Walmart. That's my only...
Boo! Not you, Walmart.
Oh, yes. I was like, hey.
Not boo to you.
It was my first fucking job. What do you want from me? It was my only fucking job, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, after that, I started working for myself.
I see.
So it was my second, technically morning, because I was what was called the Graveyard Remodel Associate. Which, graveyard, obviously meaning I work the graveyard shift.
Yes.
And then remodel, I was on the remodel at Walmart, so essentially my job was to make it to where you can't find fucking shit.
Yeah.
Clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was my second night. I had literally just gotten off of orientation the night before. This was my first night alone, if that makes sense. Even though I had other... So we get split up into 3 crews. And they go throughout the store. And they do what needs to get done. For some Walmarts, it might be bigger, it might be smaller. I guess it really just kind of depends on the size of the Walmart and all that. Anyways, morning rolls around. We had just opened the store. So this would have been 6, maybe 6:15. Like, it was early in the fucking morning. And I was just trying to get to the fucking end of my shift. At that point, I was fucking exhausted. So, we had just finished putting together the new book section.
Yeah.
And we were restocking it. Even though technically we would just take the books out, put them back in. That's pretty much what we did.
Huh.
So restocking might not be the right word, but I digress. So...
Organizing.
This lady walks up behind me, And she goes, and I quote, "Excuse me." Me being all excited, like, "Ooh, my first customer interaction."
That's not a Karen. That's a Vicky.
So I jump up and I turn around. And I'm like, "Thank you for shopping at Walmart. How can I help you?" And she goes, "You're a fucking cunt." And then she just...
Holy shit!
I know you told me that story before, but like, what the fucking audacity of this bitch?
And then she walked away. Like, she walked out of the store. I'm pretty sure she even stole something. But I was too fucking shocked to be like, "Ma'am, you need to pay for that."
Yeah.
I was literally so confused. And the two guys that I was with and the fucking girl, they were all staring at me like I did something wrong. And I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
So I found out a few days later. Apparently, one of my coworkers had helped this lady find fucking bed sheets or something, you know, like something fucking trivial and stupid.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the ones she wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
And the associate had walked away. Because it's weird to just kind of stand there while someone's browsing the fucking bed sheets or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I do not remember what the fuck. Yeah. I'm just going to stick with bed sheets.
Okay.
So, he walks off. And that's when she stormed up to me. She walked by 3 other associates. Okay?
Okay.
3 other associates to get to me.
Yes.
So, the working theory was that she mistook me for the associate that helped her. Which, sure, doesn't make your fucking behavior acceptable.
Yeah.
But I can understand how I got thrown into the mix. Except for the fact that me and the associate that helped her look nothing alike.
Oh.
He's 6 foot something. He's fucking like dark black.
Yeah.
And he's like big and buff, you know. Mm-hmm. Like fucking Helen Keller can tell us apart. You know. Like, yeah. And then there's me. I'm a fucking skinny ass, scrawny, fucking ginger, balding retard.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm just over here minding my own business.
Yeah.
Or maybe she was intimidated by him and I was just an easy target. I don't fucking know. But she literally walked up to me and was like, "Excuse me, you're a fucking cunt." And then walked off.
Huh.
And I was just looking at her like, huh? And I do remember a part that I forgot. As she was walking away, I did say one thing, which was not like a thought-through process. It was just kind of more of an automatic, "Thank you for shopping at Walmart." And she flips me the bird.
Man, just imagine just minding your own business and somebody calling you a cunt and walking off. Like, the fuck I do to you?
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind, I'm fucking autistic, so I don't fucking know how to respond to that situation. Do I hug you? Do I fucking punch you?
Thanks. You're a cunt. Thank you. I know.
Like what do you do? You know, like what is the acceptable or reaction?
Flipping
Do you
through.
fucking punch her? Do you give her a cookie and pet her on the head like a fucking horse?
Like, "You're cute. Thanks." That's hilarious.
Maybe she was trying to say that I was cute, but accidentally replaced the...
Cute.
She replaced a letter with an N.
Cute. So,
I've got more fucking stories from Walmart if you want me to go into that.
we can another time. We're getting close to ending here, but I do want to end it on one more story. So my story isn't going to top yours, of course, because that's fucking hilarious.
Dude, I fucking love that. I love telling that story because like it shows the hell that customer service and I guess just customer service and like hospital staff and shit like that go through.
Yeah.
Like obviously different circumstances, sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the disrespect is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Because people fucking suck.
Yeah.
And I like sharing that because, one, it gets people laughing, which is a big deal to me, you know.
Uh-huh.
But also, it's a lesson, you know, respect your fellow man. Just because they're wearing a uniform doesn't mean they are any less than you.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really wish I had said something. I wish I had been able to react a bit more. Mm-hmm. But I was just so fucking confused and shocked at being called a fucking cunt for no apparent reason, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like, it just don't make any fucking sense to me. So, I like sharing that.
Yeah.
And it's a legitimate, good story, both from the humor aspect and there's lessons to be learned from it as well.
Yeah. So I got two stories. One is super quick, and then the other one is medium sized. So
just like you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I gave you too much credit.
At least you didn't call me fat. Anyway.
That's not what I was talking about.
What were you talking about?
Do you really want to know?
Medium sized? I don't get it. Midget?
Anyway.
So
if you got that joke, leave a like and a comment.
Say, I like tacos, if you understood that.
Reply small PP.
Small PP. So I used to work at Wendy's, and
you did?
Yeah.
Did you meet her?
No,
Was she hot?
I think she's dead.
Was she hot?
No, she's dead.
So, a little pro bono action never hurt anyone.
Okay.
Get it? Because skeleton, bones.
Bone. Okay.
Bone. Ha.
Yes. Very, very ha. Much ha.
Much wow.
Much wow. Very ha. So, there was this time where a gentleman came up to the counter, and I was doing registers at the front, and I think I was probably just building orders, meaning food would come off of the line, I would place them on trays, and I would call it the name. So this guy would come up, this guy came up, and he's like, "Excuse me, you got my hamburger wrong." I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" And he goes, "It's supposed to be a number 1 without pickles, let's say." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go and get that remade for you, just like we're supposed to."
I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. I apologize, but this already fucking reminds me of that one fucking SpongeBob episode.
The flounder dude with the pickle under his tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite.
Spoiler!
Not quite.
That's been out for fucking...
That was like one of the very first episodes, yeah.
a million years now, so
yeah.
it's probably fair fucking game.
Yeah.
Still a fucking great episode.
Bubble Mouth Bass. That was his name.
That was it, yep.
Yeah.
Bubble Mouth
Bass.
Butt Face Man.
Okay. So just like all Wendy's employees are supposed to do, you're supposed to give customers the benefit of the doubt. So I take it back, and at first he lets me take it back, take the sandwich back, and we redo the sandwich, and we give it to him. He goes back to his table. I go back to what I'm doing. He comes back to the counter, and he says, "Excuse me, this was supposed to have no pickles and no mustard." And I go, okay, let me go to the back and get you another one the proper way. And this time, I let him keep it. I don't remember why, but I just let him keep the sandwich. And I bring back the next remade sandwich and give it to him. And he says, thanks. He goes back to his table. I go back to what I was doing. He comes back and he goes, I'm sorry, but this one was supposed to have no pickles, no mustard, and add extra cheese. And I'm like, okay. So I grab the sandwich and he goes, oh, I'll keep that. And I'm like, Take it back, get another remake. Goes back to his table to eat it. Comes back again. And before he even says a word, I put my finger up to his face and I go, I'll be right back. And I get my shift manager. And my shift manager was a mean bitch. She didn't take no...
black?
No, but she was a dark-skinned Hispanic woman.
So, pretty much black.
A couple degrees south of it, yes. She comes up and she goes, what's the problem? I said, I have remade this sandwich about 5 times. Maybe 4. And he keeps keeping the burger, and I keep remaking it for him, like we're supposed to. And then she says, is that true, sir? And he goes, no, it's not. I don't know where he got this from. I need my sandwich remade again. It needs to have no pickles, no mustard, extra cheese. And she goes, okay, sir, this is the last time we're going to remake it. He comes up again after we remake it, and he goes, I need to speak to your manager. And she was just right around the corner, and she comes around the corner without even skipping a beat. She points at him and goes, no, get out. And he goes, you're not going to serve me? She goes, no, get out. And he goes, fuck you people. And then, stomps over to his table, grabs the 5 or 6 sandwiches that he has, throws them into his backpack or whatever it was, and then marches out the door. And I'm like, wow, what a fucking bitch. He just got at least $35 worth of food for free. And she goes, yeah, after the second time they do that, don't do it again.
Did you get in trouble for that, or was that
no?
Just,
it was a learning experience, is what she called it.
So she was literally like, don't do that again, we're cool.
Yeah. After the second time, come see me. I'm like, okay, cool, we're good.
But that's it, no punishment, no reprimand?
No, but apparently, about a week after, which, why did it take an entire week? Apparently he called corporate, and then corporate told the general manager. The general manager told the shift manager, and the shift manager told me, hey, remember that dude that stole 6 sandwiches from us? He called corporate. Nothing's gonna happen. I just want you to know that. And I'm like, cool shit, bro.
I love pissing people off so much that they fucking waste time out of their fucking day.
Yeah.
That is the best.
So my second story, before we wrap up. So you know that...
Hang on.
Yeah.
So is it possible that guy was homeless or something?
No, I remember him getting into not an extremely fancy car like a Lincoln or something, but he got into a fairly decent looking Ford. I think it was a Fiesta or something like that. So no, I don't think he was homeless.
You can still be homeless and have a nice car.
Right, but he also had very decent clothes, and...
He could have recently been misplaced.
If he was homeless, I would feel bad, but there was no indicators to show me that he was homeless.
Right, I agree with you on that, but I'm just saying, either he's one very greedy son of a bitch, or he's trying to survive. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. You know. And, I think you did the right thing. I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah.
Because that is a shit fucking situation to be in.
Yeah.
I've been in similar situations. But, you and I both know, and I've never worked in restaurants. Mm-hmm. I've never worked in anything related to food. Like I said, Walmart was my first and only job. Mm-hmm. Working for someone else.
Yeah.
But, we both know that restaurants and stuff like that throw out a lot of food at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Why isn't that given to like homeless people and shit like that?
That is a very good point. Yeah. But
And
specifically Wendy's, actually, they allowed people at the end of each day to take home the extra food.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked at a fast food place. I can't remember which one it was, but she used to live in the slums of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say where in Arizona.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of slums, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a lot of homeless people or people who were struggling.
Yeah.
And she would pass this food out on the way home. Keep in mind, her family is not rich by any means.
Yeah.
They live in the fucking slums. Like, that gives you an idea.
Yeah.
And she would pass out every fucking hamburger, every fucking fry, and then some.
Yeah.
On her way home from work.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
That's commendable.
And I want you to understand that this area was gang-ridden, and there was Russian and I think Italian mob as well. Mm. They're still very much active.
Yeah.
In the country.
Yeah, I know that.
Which I didn't know until she brought it up, you know. And that was mind-boggling to me. I was like, I thought we shut that shit down fucking forever ago. Like in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
Because you never hear about it now.
Yeah.
So, but like, it should just be one of those things where, like most fucking restaurants have the little barrier between the two, like the main eating area and the outside, like where you walk in one door. Why not leave that door unlocked, leave the food in that little walk-in area.
Yeah.
And then lock the main building.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That way, people aren't having to do shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was just being greedy, but it is possible that he was recently this place too. I don't want to jump to the conclusion of greed.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you were there, I wasn't, so I have to trust your opinion on that.
Yeah.
You know?
It was just his attitude, and there was nothing pointing towards the fact that he might or might not have been homeless. I just assumed he was being a dick. But you're right. You're totally right. It could have been a different situation that he didn't let on. But
did I ever tell you about the time someone brought, or a guy brought a goat, I think it was, or a sheep or something, into Walmart?
I don't believe so, but
come on, we got time for one.
Yeah,
it's a quick story.
Yeah, it's a really quick story. We can tell. I'll mark that we want to do work stories for the next episode.
So, I was stocking shelves out near the registers because we had to put in a bunch of new shit. And we had to take apart the registers and all that fucking self-checkout was fucking destroyed, and we had to do that all in one night.
Yeah.
Like, we started from the moment the doors closed. Mm-hmm. And we had to be done in 6 hours.
Okay.
Which is a fucking tall-ass order.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we only have one crew working one section. Mm-hmm. We had all fucking 3. And we still were behind.
Okay.
But anyways, that's not the point of the story. The doors opened, and everything's normal. Everybody's working their asses off. And all of a sudden, behind me, I'm crouched down. I'm stalking the aisle. I forget what they're called. The aisle shelves.
End caps?
No, they're like in the middle.
I don't know.
Like near the register.
Near the register. Oh.
Like while you're waiting.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know the fucking name for it. I just can't fucking bring it.
Anyway.
I was stalking one of those, and Next thing I know, behind me, right at my fucking head level, you just hear, bah!
Holy shit.
And I thought it was one of my friends pulling a prank, you know?
Yeah.
Because, honestly, it was a really stressful night. And that's how we got through it. We would joke.
Yeah.
I turn around, and there is a fucking animal in my face. I'm not great with animals. It could have been a goat. It could have been a sheep. Hell, it could have been a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But... And we just kind of stared at each other. And then the llama went, bah! What did I say, llama?
I don't know. The damn thing.
Yeah, the unidentified walking creature.
Yes.
And this thing was not on a leash. Which, for service animals, they have to be on a leash.
Yes.
And the owner was like, come here, insert name. And it was an adorable name, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It was an adorable creature. He even let me hug it.
Oh.
But, he just prances right up to his owner and is like, yes.
Yes.
And I shit you not. He walked by his owner.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking leash.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would stop occasionally and just bat people.
Yeah.
You know, get them to smile and get them laughing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let them pet for a few and then get on with their day.
Huh.
And that is probably... I highly doubt it, but if you're out here... If you own whatever the fuck that was, and you're listening, please, for the love of God, hit me up. I want to give you, like, a fucking something.
A something.
Because that made my fucking day.
A $5 gift card to Chili's.
I was so stressed and annoyed, and it's amazing how even a bizarre animal like that, like they can be in tune with people's emotions, and that is crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh, and when I hugged it, it licked my ear.
Oh.
And I was like,
cute.
oh!
That's cute.
And I was like, can I has, please? And he was like, no. And I was like, please? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. How about now?
No.
So, that's my whatever the fuck story. Llama, goat, pickle, dinosaur.
I'm Sheep Rick. Anyway, one more story and then we'll wrap up.
All I know is, for sure, it was not a dog.
It was not a dog.
And it was not a cat.
Right.
And it was not a goddamn squirrel. Could you imagine walking a squirrel around on a leash?
Yeah.
With like a little vest that just says emotional support?
Emotional support. Chirp.
Emotional support chirper?
Yes.
ESC.
So, last story. You know that well, you specifically, Morgan, might not know. But for those out there who know, there is this meme that is literally just somebody, like, is a shitty drawing of somebody at a counter telling their life fucking story. And then the next panel is literally a dude in a Wendy's apron going, sir, this is a fucking Wendy's. That literally happened to me, but not specifically like that. There was a little old lady. She came in with her little walker, and nobody else there to accompany her. I don't know if she got there by herself, if somebody drove her, or what.
I would immediately just been like, are you lost?
She was.
Wait, what?
She was lost because she went up to the counter and goes, she was the sweetest fucking old lady. She goes, excuse me, young man, I would like a Whopper in a combo medium cola. And I'm like, we don't serve Whoppers here. We serve Dave's sandwiches.
They seriously have a name?
Yeah, they're called Dave's sandwiches.
Why not Wendy's sandwiches?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Who the fuck is Dave?
He was... So I know the dude that founded Wendy's, his name was Carl something, and his daughter's name was Wendy.
Yeah, but who the fuck is Dave?
I think Dave is the grandson of Wendy. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. Anyway, this sweet little lady asked for a Whopper, and I'm like, we don't serve Whoppers here. And she goes, yes, you do. I would like a Whopper, please. And I'm like, we don't... This is a Wendy's. We don't serve Whoppers. And she looks up at the board, and she goes, yes, you do. You're number 5. And I looked up, and the number 5 was like a crispy chicken sandwich. And I'm like, no, this is a Wendy's, ma'am. And she goes, why are you being rude to me? Get your manager. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I get the manager.
Is
and
it the same manager? Just curious.
It was a different manager. At that time, I remember specifically, it was the general manager. But she comes and she's like, can I help you, man? She's like, yeah, your server won't serve me a Whopper. And she's like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. And she goes, no, it's not. And she gets out from behind the counter and kind of like pulls her shirt up. Not up, but like out in order for the stitching on her shirt to get close to her to show her this is a Wendy's. And she looks at it, she squints, takes at least 3 seconds to process it, and she goes, oh, I'm at the wrong place. And she just, not a single other word, just starts walking out of the place. And I'm like, I hope she didn't drive here. And I was seriously concerned, and I looked out the front door. I got out from behind the counter and looked out the front door, and she was nowhere to be seen. I don't know if she parked behind or to the side, because there's 2 different parking lots, one in the front of the store and one to the side of the store. And there's also another parking lot kind of behind it, because it's connected to a Denny's.
It is the one that I'm thinking.
In B City, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have no idea where the fuck she went. So,
obviously to where the Whoppers are.
Yeah. She was probably like, well, fuck this place. I'm going Burger King. I thought this was Burger King, but she ends up at fucking like Jimmy John's or something. I like a Whopper. This is a Jimmy John's, ma'am. And it was one of those stereotypical...
She probably ended up in Denny's.
Maybe, since it was right across the parking lot from the Wendy's.
Yeah. I'd like a Whopper. Ma'am, this is Denny's. Can I get you some eggs? Do you want me to call someone?
Exactly. If she had stayed a second sooner, I would have been like, can I call your grandson or something? But she was like one of those stereotypical ones with the 4-footed walker and with the glasses.
She was a stereotypical grandma with a 4-foot Whopper.
Whopper? No. Quadrupeded walker.
With like the tennis balls.
Yes. Yeah. And she had the big, gigantic, like 1.5 inch thick glasses with like the rope on either side going behind her neck. And she had like the frilly pink like sweater, and she was kind of hunchbacked, and it's just sweet as pie.
You can't be upset with her.
No, I absolutely can't. I was worried for her.
Like, yeah, she could have handled that better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, at the same time, it's like, please, just let me help you.
Yeah, like, do you need help walking to your car? Do you need help walking? Like, obviously you do, but like, I was surprised she was able to get the door open and then walk through it with her walker, and then...
Can I give you, like, why am I fucking talking as the grandma? Can I give you, like, a piggyback ride or something, like...
Yeah, like, here, let me fireman carry you to your car.
For real? Dude, I would have called someone.
Like, if a paper bag slapped her in the face because it was windy out, she'd probably break in half.
Don't you mean if it was windy out?
If it was windy out, yeah, definitely.
But like, you could have called like non-emergency or something like that.
I probably should have.
And they would have came out and been like, "Ma'am, And she would have been like, "Are you gonna give me my Whopper?"
Yeah.
No, ma'am. I'm a police officer.
I don't feel bad about stealing that kid's PlayStation, but I do feel bad for letting that old lady go.
Priorities.
Priorities, yeah.
Honestly, I would have just given her what she wanted.
I didn't think about it. I probably should have been like, okay, a number 1. Gotcha. Like, no, it's a number 5. And I'm like, okay, sure thing, ma'am. Sure thing. Whatever you want.
Yeah, or just stalled her long enough for someone to get there to be like,
Yeah.
Hey, can we get you back to the... Isn't there a fucking retirement home near that?
I know there's one in, like, the opposite side of H City, but not B City.
I'm pretty sure that there's a retirement home or something near Wendy's in B.
I'm not sure.
In Betch.
In Bitch City, yes.
Honestly, might as well change the name to that.
Yeah, or, Bemeth. Bemeth City.
Barrowin.
Yeah. Barrowin.
But no, you aided and abetted an escaped fugitive.
Maybe.
From the retirement home.
Maybe, yeah.
Like...
Be on the lookout for a stereotypical cartoon grandmother.
Even though this was years ago and she's probably dead now.
Oh. Well, that's sad. I was going to say, be on the lookout. She is armed and dangerous. She will huck Werther's Originals at you. Come on, bud. Get on the couch. There you go.
You're okay.
Alright, well, the battery of my laptop's going to die and I need to piss, and we are out of time. So thank you all, one and all, ladies and gents and non-binary folks.
And transgenders and dinosaurs
and attack helicopters.
But we don't deal with liberals, so if you're one, you can stay, I guess. But be quiet.
Anyway.
we don't like liberals here.
It doesn't matter what you are or who you are. Thank you very much for stopping by and giving us a listen. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to share your opinions or maybe a topic of a video you want us to cover, leave it in the comments. We are open to everything from Saddam Hussein's butthole to 9/11. It doesn't matter. We will discuss anything.
Do you think his butthole got fucked?
We will see you in the next one when we discuss that topic and more. Thank you all for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.